Hi beautiful people, how are you? My name is Connor.
And I'm Brittany.
And today we are going to be answering a question that Brittany received in a direct message on Instagram.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Hi Brittany, I had a question regarding your video you guys posted today about Connor taking time away. As a breastfeeding mom, how do you not feel resentful when your partner needs time away to be in their own energy when they choose to have a child too? You get a few hours break at a time because the baby is so dependent on you, while your partner can take multiple few-day trips away from the baby. As a mom, I feel like that would be so difficult. Do any of these feelings come up for you? And if so, how is the best way to work through them? Being a mom myself, I'm not sure how I would work through that.
Our membership site is growing and we want you to be a part of it.
We have over 100 videos, so many exercises, tons of ways for you to learn, grow, heal, and inspire with us.
Come on over and see what it's all about. Yeah, it's such a great question.
This is such a great question.
And as always, we just love receiving questions, and just keep them coming. You can post in the comments, or you can reach out to us individually on our Instagram or co-jointly in any other form. So thank you for the question.
There's so much I think we'd both love to share about
Yeah,
this.
I think, it is directed at you, and also I think there's some more like life philosophies or perspectives that we can offer that would be really helpful for this topic.
Yeah, this is our lifestyle channel, and I do feel like our overall theme that we're going to talk about here is a lifestyle that we live by.
Totally, yes.
So, to answer this really directly, that didn't come up for me. When you shared that it felt aligned for you to take time to be in your own energy, I felt like, yeah, that sounds great. I really want that for you. I really understand that. And that has been our lifestyle that we've been cultivating, which is one of deep support and love and understanding, and a desire to understand, even if we might not have the understanding quite yet, because maybe parts of us are coming up that feel different things.
Yeah.
And I remember that I've been feeling this way for a while. So during pregnancy, I don't feel like since Ilya's been here, I don't think there's been a time where there's been something you want to do that I feel directly like, no, I don't want that. And that feels really good for me, because what it feels like is, yes, like, Connor, I want you to be in your flow, this thing you're attracting, this thing that feels right, do that. I want to be in my flow, these things that I'm attracting. It's such a special time for me. I am a breastfeeding mom. I'm with Ilya so much of my time, and that's such a special thing to be celebrating. Yeah. And there have been some times where I felt like, what I'm watching you do is inspiring. It doesn't come up for me as like, I feel like because you have that, I can't. Mm-hmm. I feel like you have that, and yeah, like I could see how it could be beneficial for me to be in my own energy. And how could I create a little more of that space? And how can I talk to you about that, and we can create that, and how can I be open to other ways that can come into my experience? And by not pushing against and saying like, I can't have that, but you can, instead saying, you can have that, and I can have that, and we can all have that, and there's more ways that we're all gonna sync up with this, and more people are gonna come into our experience. That's creating so much space for the possibilities, and it really feels like living from this abundance place where we can all have everything we want and so much more, instead of a space that feels grippy, that feels like, because I can't have that, you can't have it either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. That's such a beautiful share.
Thanks for your
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, totally agree, 100%. Some things that can be really helpful are to just take a look at our language and take a look at our narrative, and even in questions, what words we choose. And in this one, the word that stuck out to me as a really strong word, it's sort of like sharp for me, is resentment. And so I think looking at that for a second and just bringing some awareness to what we are talking about when we use that particular word. I think for me, resentment is something that I never want to participate in. It feels really draining to me to resent someone. And I think it is the flip side of that word is exactly what you just said. Sometimes we see someone and we are actually really inspired by them, and we are just really craving to have something like what they have or are experiencing. And for parts of us, I think we can't have that. And so we get defensive, and those defensive parts come up, and the feeling is resentment. So having that awareness that if there's resentment there, the flip side of that is there's inspiration there. Yeah. It's a message that says, hey, I want that thing too. And then there's parts of you that are like, oh, well, we can't have that. So if you can find those parts that are, you can't have that, and you can switch that too and say, well, I can have that. How can I have that? And then you ask that question, and then it becomes a productive experience rather than this one where we're stuck in something. Yeah. And I think resentment, blame, victimization, even excuses, those are things that keep us stuck rather than things that open us up to possibility, to hope, and to expansion. So that's what's really coming through for me in the wording of that question. And if you can, do that flip side thing, then the question kind of answers itself. It dissolves itself. And for me, I want to spend time with Ilya, and I want to spend time with Brittany. And I want those things from the purest place because they're not being forced upon me. I have the opportunity to choose that. And I would have the opportunity to choose that no matter how you were showing up. Yeah. But it's really helpful that you show up with support. And it's really helpful that I show up with support so that we can feel like the choices we make are genuine. They're not coming from a place of like, oh, if I don't do that, then I'm not going to have love or connection or the type of relationship I want or safety or so on and so forth.
I love this. I think that we were modeled fairness when we were younger, that things should be fair, or taught that this word existed in some way, as opposed to flow. And I love to flow with you. Yeah. And I feel like I've been experiencing us for 5.5 years, almost 6 years now, show up and flow together, and it always works. And I feel like the equation is so fair, and I don't even know what that means. To me, that means that we both get to live a hell yes life. Exactly. Yeah. And that is so fair. Yeah. And believing that that is possible, believing that there is infinite abundance for all of us, and that we are the powerful ones that get to do things like change our narrative so that we can create space to believe that that's coming for us. That is so fair. The universe is so consistent with how we show up is what we get back. And I feel like this is the most important lifestyle message that I could share and say that doing this has profoundly changed my life. And it's okay to also simultaneously have parts that can come up and say like, oh, like I want to believe that, and also I'm feeling this thing, and to honor that part and just to allow that to be okay for now. When I was pregnant, there was a chunk about a month when I was really nauseous, and I didn't want to be touched in that space. And I remember thinking at the time and telling you like, oh, like I know you want to cuddle, and I want you to cuddle. I want you to have touch and receive love, and I really hope that you can feel the support to line up with that with other people right now, because I don't feel available for it. And at the time I remember thinking that might be hard for me, and also that would be okay. It might be like a part of me that I'm still allowing to be as I change my narrative, and also that my ultimate truth is that I really want that for you. And it wasn't. It actually was great for me.
And we can focus on anything we want to focus on. And I could be resentful of Brittany for being able to breastfeed Ilya. It would be just as easy for me to have that feeling as for Brittany to have the resentful feeling of me being able to have a little more space from Ilya. But that really doesn't feel like how I want to live my life, and I don't think either of us want to, and I don't think you want to. No. I don't think anybody wants to. And I think there is so much power in our thoughts and our words and the way we narrate our lives. I just keep returning to that with this question, and and want this person to know too that you're not doing anything wrong. But also, I think it could be helpful just to bring that awareness. And for all of us, it's such a perfect example of how we can look at our narrative and the words that we are sort of automatically using, and then seeing like, man, how does that word feel? Do I actually want to feel that way?
Right.
And why do I feel that way? And if there were a flip side, if there were a positive side to that word, what could that be? And you don't have to like fake it. But I do think that it takes a little bit of a switch, and that switch can take a little time to build up your skill set with that, you know, to see everything in your life as benefiting you. Because there's some tough stuff that we encounter that it's easy to say, that's just hard. But I think the power comes from choosing, yeah, that is hard, but it's good for me, and I'm gonna make it good for me. And that all happens, I think, with languaging, internal languaging, and changing your perspective. And it will just change everything in your life if you can take the time to bring awareness to those types of things.
I love this so much.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I love that you breastfeed. I totally want to be breastfeeding Ilya.
I want you to too.
I totally
want to. Cool.
I wanted to carry Ilya in my womb. Do the birthing, all of those things. And also, I love my body, and I love that I got to support you in this journey, and I love that I could take 2 days. That's amazing.
It's so beautiful
and
that
we
our life
have
is
this,
set up this way.
yeah, we have this setup that feels like it's really safe to do that because there's another whole adult person here 24/7 that can support you. And, you know, I just want to rejoice in these things.
Yeah.
And it's also important to pay attention when things don't feel good, but not to get stuck in those things, to use those to excel, to propel yourself forward. I love you so much.
I love you so much. I love everything you're doing, and I really trust it.
Same.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the questions.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time.